Polynomials, multiplying special products. There are formulas for the special products, as they are called by many books. In this video, we will only focus on the binomial times binomial special products. Here are the formulas that I use. I don't use formulas, right? And so, what do? I don't teach formulas. I use FOIL. I've been teaching for over 2 decades, and I may have done the formulas early on in my career, and then I realized something really fast. And I was teaching university students. I mean, they had to, be admitted with certain test scores and that kind of thing. Look, when somebody's not a math expert, formulas are tough. And sometimes you can't avoid them, okay? If like quadratic formula, we get to that, yeah, I teach that. But here, I don't teach formulas for this. Because a student who's trying to learn how to multiply 2 binomials is not going to understand a formula. They need to have what I call self-discovery. They need to work enough of the problems that they see the pattern themselves. There's a novel idea. Because if you go work 30 or 40 of the problems and you FOIL them out, and then all of a sudden you go, you know what, every time it says this happens. And let me try it again. Oh, that happened again. Oh, that middle term is double multiply. And then you look at the formula and then you see 2AB or 2MN. You go, oh, I know where that 2 comes from now. It makes sense. It makes sense once you get a grasp on it. But when you're learning math the first time, formulas aren't for everybody. So I don't teach formulas, okay? You can go learn them if you want. They're in the book. I don't touch them, okay? Don't do it because most of you are really good at foiling. Really good at foiling. So why do something else? Why mix it up and mess it up with something else? I don't understand. So I know teachers, y'all will write me and tell me how I'm wrong and everything else, and that's fine. I've been doing this 22 years, and I got a pretty good success rate. So we can talk about it, but I'm probably not changing. But if I find a better way, I will. But formulas are not a better way. Not for a student who's trying to learn algebra the first time. It's not the way to go. All right? Somebody gets better at math, they can do it. Okay? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. X plus 4 in parentheses squared. So the difference here is you don't have 2 separate parentheses. You have one of them, and you're squaring it. But what does it mean to square something? Well, it just means to take X plus 4 and multiply it by itself. And somebody may say, well, it's inefficient. Well, you know what? I'm spending all my time trying to figure out a formula, and I could be using my time better by just working these. And again, once I work several of them and I see the pattern myself, then the formula makes sense. And I don't necessarily have to memorize it. It just kind of makes sense. I know it. So here, I'm going to do first, outer, inner, last. So we're going to go first, outer, inner, last. So we have x times x is first. That's x squared. Then we have plus 4x is outer. We have plus 4x is inner. And we have plus 16 is last. And again, I'm lining up my x's there, right? When you FOIL, if they're built the same, they're always going to look this way. Something in the front, 2 things in the middle with the O and the I that combine, and then the last thing that's separate stuck on the end there. All right, so this is going to be x squared plus 8x plus 16. Those plus 4x's don't cancel. They're both the same sign. Add them together, keep it positive. And there's your final answer. Yes, there's a formula that will get you there, okay? And by the time you memorize it, I've worked 65 problems, and I know the formula because I've seen the pattern 65 times now. All right, so 5y plus 2 in parentheses squared. This just means 5y plus 2 times what? Times 5y plus 2. Just multiply it by itself. And then we're going to FOIL it. First, outer, inner, last. First, outer, inner, last. So 5y times 5y is 25y squared. 5y times plus 2 is plus 10y. Then we have 2 times 5y. That's plus another 10y. And then plus 2 times plus 2 is plus 4. So this is 25y squared. Then we have plus 10y and plus 10y is plus 20. And that's still y, right? When we combine like terms, we don't change the power. We change that first y squared with the 25 because we're multiplying 2 y's. We add the 2 1's. But when we're adding like terms, 10 and 10, we add the 10 and 10 to get 20, but we just leave it y. $10 and $10 is $20. It's not $20 squared. and then plus 4. 25y squared plus 20y plus 4. And then d minus 7 in parentheses squared. Again, this just means d minus 7 times d minus 7. And then I'm going to FOIL it, because that's something I already know how to do. FOIL. So then d times d is d squared. D times negative 7 is negative 7d. Then we get another negative 7d, and we get plus 49 because it's negative times negative. And 7 times 7 is 49. You could list this all out horizontally, right? D squared. These don't cancel. I get that a lot because they're negative. Oh, Mr. Guest, those cancel. No, negative and negative don't cancel. You add them together, you get 14d, and it stays negative. And then plus 49. So d squared minus 14d plus 49. 4m minus 3 squared. So that's going to be 4m minus 3 times 4m minus 3, right? Square it, write it twice. Then FOIL it. 4m times 4m is what? That's 16m squared. Then we go with outer. 4m times negative 3 is negative 12m. Then we have negative 3 times 4m is inner, and that's negative 12m. And then negative 3 times negative 3, that's my last, is going to be what? Plus 9. This is going to be 16m squared. And again, those don't cancel. They're both negative. You add them together and keep it negative. 12 and 12 is 24, so negative 24m and then plus 9 there. So 16m squared minus 24m plus 9. Oh, and I didn't change colors there. And then here, this is not squared. This is x plus 2 times x minus 2. Started 2 parentheses. And the special thing about this is those 2 parentheses are identical except what? The sign between the numbers. And really, it's not that it's the sign between the numbers. It's that one sign is different. That's the deal here. One sign is different. You could actually do x plus 2 and negative x plus 2 and change the x and get something that has a similar result. It won't be the same because you changed what sign you changed, but if one sign changes, it works this way each time. So what we're going to do is we're going to do first and outer. It's going to be what? X squared, and then minus 2x, and then inner is plus 2x, and last is minus 4 this time, right? Plus 2 and negative 2. It's minus 4. So now we get x squared. This now, negative 2x and plus 2x, that does cancel. And then minus 4. And this doesn't look good with a big gap right here, but when you do it vertically, you end up with a gap. That's okay. You end up with something that cancels with a big gap. You just say, okay, let's just come down here and write this more aesthetically pleasing, right? X squared minus 4 all together. And there's your final answer. If the two things are built the same, everything is identical, not just built the same. If they're identical except one of the signs, typically it's the sign between the two terms. If everything's the same except that sign between the two terms, the middle terms are going to cancel every time. That's why there's a formula there. Still don't teach it. Still don't teach it. Not going to. Not unless I get a good studential reason. Studential may not be a word, but of or pertaining to the student. And I think students are not formula driven when they get in an algebra class to start learning algebra. They can become that way as they get better at math, but when they're learning it, let them discover the formula. Get them to FOIL. Get them to do something to do. Let them build their confidence. They know how to do FOIL. So here, first, outer. So this is going to be 7p times 7p, and I was writing 7p down. That's 49p squared. And then outer is going to be plus 28p. And then inner is going to be minus 28p, right? 7p times negative 4 is negative 28p. And then negative 4 times positive 4 is last. That's minus 16. So then we get 49p squared. Those cancel because 1's plus 1's minus are the same thing. Minus 16. And again, I'm going to write this neatly together here. 49p squared minus 16. So it looks just a little better. Let me fix that. I don't like that 6 there. All right. So 49p squared minus 16. So I hope this helps you with the special products. But look, I did a separate video on it because almost every book calls them this, and maybe even has its own section, and teachers teach all these things. So I wanted you to have it there as a separate video, but it's really, go back and look at the FOIL video if you don't know what FOIL is. Because once you figure out first, outer, inner, last, it works on these. Why learn something new? You already know something that works. Keep building that confidence. Keep building those skills. And as you do more of these, I promise you'll learn the patterns. And then when you look at the formula, it'll all make sense. But the way to do it is this way, not learn the formula first and try to figure it out. Because then it just gets very frustrating for many, many, many students. All right? So I hope this helps out.